Hello Internet Allies, how are you doing? So, before I make this video, I just kind of want to say a few things. This isn't like a I hate autism video, this isn't like a self-pity video, this isn't like I hate myself video. I'm not blaming autism for all my problems here. You know, I like to think I'm like a decent person and whatnot, but recently I've been feeling like, yeah, I kind of wish I wasn't autistic sometimes. And yeah, in this video I kind of want to just talk about why that is. I'm also not saying that people on the spectrum can't lead happy and successful lives, and you know, I hope one day I'll be able to do the same. I think in many ways, you know, I am really lucky with my life. You know, I've got a good family and physically I'm healthy and stuff. So yeah, why do I feel like I wish I wasn't autistic? So yeah, let's dive into this. Throughout most of my life, I've been kind of okay and quite accepting and quite open and honest about being autistic as well. Like, you know, it's not really bothered me so much, really, to be honest. But like now I'm like a young adult, now I'm like 25, I feel like, yeah, looking back on my life, like I feel like there's been a lot of things I've struggled with because of my autism and stuff like that. I think like a lot of those things are, you know, like understanding how the world works, like fitting in basically, like and understanding like other people and understanding like social cues and stuff like that. And I feel like if I didn't have autism, like those things would be a lot easier for me, and you know, some of those things are like my biggest insecurities. And I feel like, I mean, I was having a recent conversation with my dad, and like I was kind of getting a bit down about like the fact that, like, you know, a lot of the things I'm starting to experience now, a lot of people like my age or whatever probably would have experienced in high school or in college or whatever. And yeah, it kind of made me feel, because like high school was such a nightmare for me and stuff like that, and yeah, high school wasn't really accommodating at all really much for my autism. I kind of missed out on that. I missed out on that, like, you know, social development growth sort of thing. And I feel like it's only been now, like, since I left high school and since since college, like, you know, I've had to like learn that kind of social development and stuff. And yeah, it's been quite difficult when like everybody else seems to have like socially developed, and I feel like I'm kind of like I'm like a bit behind sort of thing, and I've fallen behind, and you know, it's trying to like catch up with other people my age, which is really tricky. A lot of people experience like things in high school that I'm just starting to experience now. It's kind of more like to do with like, you know, friendships, relationships, you know, like first kisses, first dates and everything. And you know, I think those are all things I've kind of like missed out on growing up and stuff. And yeah, again, that's not to say that like this will never happen for me or whatever, and it's not to say that like other people on the spectrum like don't experience these things. I like to think that like everybody on the spectrum has like a different story and stuff like that to basically share with the world, which I think is great. I'm mildly autistic. I have Asperger's syndrome. So that means like, despite like, you know, struggling socially sometimes, you know, I am actually quite capable with a lot of other things as well. However, like, I do think that there are things that I struggle with that for a lot of people it comes naturally to them and stuff like that. Like, but like for me, it like takes quite a lot to learn that kind of stuff and to basically learn about how the world works and stuff. I think another like thing about social development delay is like kind of struggling to like learn how to like deal with like setbacks and how to deal with like adversity and stuff. Yeah, because I think, you know, being autistic and being quite like sensitive and stuff like that, like emotionally sensitive and being quite hurt quite easily, like, yeah, I think it's quite tricky to basically learn these things. However, despite having autism and despite, you know, feeling like, you know, it's taking me longer to like understand how the world works and taking me longer to understand friendships, relationships, understanding social cues and whatnot, I do also wish that, like, you know, the world was a bit more like accommodating and a bit more sort of accepting of autism. you know, I don't really think there's really a lot like taught in schools about autism. You know, I think it is like a lot of the information about autism is like online or in books or whatever, and really like, you know, if people don't really have like a close friend or relative or whatever, or aren't autistic themselves, then like they probably don't know about much about autism, or they don't know, or yeah, don't know anything about autism or whatever, or don't feel like they need to. But like really, like I do think that, yeah, basically, especially with like schools, and especially with the education system, and especially with like even like adult life and like work and stuff, you know, I do wish people were a bit more like understanding and a bit more like accommodating of autism, and basically how, you know, like they can help us and stuff. Because, you know, I can't change the fact that I'm autistic. I don't want to change the fact I'm autistic. I can't change that about myself. I'm me, you know, it is a part of me, and, you know, that part's never going to go away. I'm okay with that. I just kind of wish that, like, yeah, things were just a bit easier for myself and others on the spectrum. However, despite having autism, you know, I do have to count my blessings. You know, it's not all bad. Like, you know, I am physically healthy. I do have some loving and supporting friends and family as well. And yeah, I'm happy like making films for a living as well. And I do know that like a lot of other people, whether they're on the spectrum or not, you know, do sometimes have it worse than me. However, that doesn't mean that my problems are any less valid than anybody else's. You know, these are just my own problems I need to face on my own and stuff. But I just kind of wish that, like, hopefully with the support of other people, you know, the world can be like a better place for those on the spectrum and stuff, really. Okay, thanks guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a like, and until next time, keep smiling. Bye.